How many of you have ever felt completely drained, yet still got up and carried on? How many of you have smiled through exhaustion, pushed through fear, and ignored your own pain because there was simply no time to stop? Now, let me ask you something harder. When was the last time you truly cared for yourself? Not your children, not your work, not your endless to do list. You. Hi everyone. This is Asma Parveen. I want to talk about the silent epidemic today. The truth is, the biggest threat to women's health today isn't just disease, it's neglect. Not neglect by doctors or science, but by ourselves. We take care of everyone, our families, our careers, our responsibilities. But while we are busy being everything to everyone, we are losing ourselves. Women are twice as likely as men to suffer from anxiety and depression. We struggle with chronic fatigue, unexplained body aches, and emotional exhaustion. And yet we tell ourselves, I'm fine, I just need to push through. But here's the truth, we are not fine. We cannot heal what we refuse to acknowledge. We talk about heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, but what about the invisible illness that's destroying women's health every single day? Emotional pain, the stress that tightens our chests, the fear that keeps us up at night, the self doubt that whispers, you're not enough. This is the silent epidemic no one talks about. Medicine treats symptoms, but what about the silent battles we fight? Self doubt, fear, and emotional burnout. Imagine a healthcare system that treats not just the symptoms, but the woman behind them. A system that understands that stress, fear, or past trauma can manifest as migraines, infertility, or chronic fatigue. We often talk about medical advancements, but let's talk about something equally powerful: emotional well being. This is where Bach flower remedies, homeopathy, and nutrition offer something revolutionary. Bach flower remedies heal deep seated wounds, emotional wounds like fear, exhaustion, hopelessness. Homeopathy just doesn't suppress symptoms, it listens to the body and restores balance. Nutrition isn't just about food, it's about fueling mental strength and emotional resilience. Because healing isn't just about the body, it's about the heart, the mind, and the soul. How many times have you gone to bed feeling completely drained, only to wake up just as exhausted? How many times have you held back tears in a meeting, put on a brave face, and told the world, I've got this, when deep inside you felt like you were falling apart? We tell ourselves we don't have time to rest, to heal, to feel. But if we don't, our bodies will force us to, through illness, through burnout, through breaking down when we least expect it. Women, we cannot pour from an empty cup. We cannot keep giving when we are running on empty. Healing isn't selfish, it's essential. And it starts with the courage to say, I matter too. We fight for so many things: equality, opportunity, success. But the greatest battle we must fight is the one within, the battle to heal, to rest, to feel, to be whole again. So I ask you, when will you stop surviving and start truly living? Because when a woman is healed, she doesn't just survive, she thrives. And when she thrives, she changes the world. But first, she must choose herself. So I leave you with this. When will you finally choose yourself? Because when you do, the world will feel your power. Thank you.
The first 3 months of GatherVerse Q1 has concluded. We've had the superhero engine, She Summit. We've had the artificial intelligence, third annual summit. We've had the GatherVerse 2025, fourth annual summit. And now we've had the Women's Health Summit 2025, day 2. As quick as it comes is as quick as it goes. We've heard heartfelt expressions from hundreds of you that have come to assemble with us to the very end at GatherVerse.live. This is one of the most impactful summits we've ever had. Informative, guided. As a man, I can surely say I have benefited from being part of this summit. I've learned more about women and things that I never knew. Things that I didn't even know that I wanted to know, I now know. But I am still a student. We must allow for grace. We must allow for people to come to where we're at. Some of my biggest takeaways when it comes to the human body, what is it that we truly know? When it comes to the pain and suffering and difficulties and hardships of others, what is it that we truly know about their plight, their experiences? Might we enter these discussions with grace, with empathy, to have a better appreciation for what somebody, your neighbor, your friend, a stranger, is experiencing? You never really know what someone else is experiencing. We have these summits because if not us, then who? We talk about these things in an attempt to be able to keep up with the hyperscale and the cadence of emerging technologies. I want to give a special shout out to the GatherVerse team and the production. One heck of a job for these free attended events. What a heck of a job. I'm honored to be able to stand with you, to build with you, to chop wood with you. This doesn't happen without you and more. So we're thankful. I'm going to give a shout out to all of our speakers, our leaders, both men and women, that come to assemble with us, a global community. We thank you. We're grateful for your time. We know time is a thing you do not get back, and that every moment is precious, and we value that. We want to thank the audience, those who have never spoken in a GatherVerse but are persistently and consistently with us, filling the halls of GatherVerse.live and multi-stream, going after multi-stream after multi-stream, wherever you may be in the world, transmetropolitan, transcontinental. We say thank you. We greet you at this intersection of emerging technologies and humanity. We greet you with peace and kindness and curiosity. This was our 30th Global GatherVerse Summit event. Our 30th. And in many ways, I felt like we've barely even begun. We're working on incredible summits and collaborations right now that will deploy and launch soon. Some you know of: GatherVerse Youth Summit, GatherVerse XRE Volve Summit. But we have some special summits that are coming up soon. We're really excited to share them. We're working and building on them now, and we're not alone. But I'll leave you with this. What have you gained with your time here with GatherVerse? And what have you lost? What have you learned with your time listening to these leaders that presented themselves before us in expression? Will you take time to share this with someone? But more importantly, will you take time to live this? To take it in? To make sense of all of this with whatever time we have to do such things? The only thing we ask from you at GatherVerse is not your money. We don't want it. We ask that you take in consideration of the things that have been presented before you. We ask that you demonstrate compassion and kindness. We ask that if you're provided and afforded the opportunity, tell somebody about the things that you've heard today. Share this story, because we can't share it ourselves. And we are all subjected to algorithms and digital expression until perhaps one day we're not. Many of you are building incredible and wonderful, powerful technology. I hope that you're funded soon. I hope that people take time to download what it is that you've taken days, months, or even years to build. I hope someone buys your book. I hope someone follows you on social media and sends a message and simply says hello or thank you or how can I help? I hope that I'm not alone as we continue to move forward. This world is changing, and it is dark, but the light still shines. Oh, yes, it does. I believe this with all my heart, and I am spiritually thankful for this opportunity to help lead in servant leadership with excellence, with the servant's heart. This GatherVerse experience, this community that's collectively made up of all of us and so much more. So this week, our Gather was well. And as we move forward towards more events, we hope that we'll continue to demonstrate trust, commitment, and dedication in serving the global GatherVerse community. Farewell to all of you. Care, be kind and compassionate. And lastly, when it comes to the subject of our health and well-being, and with great empathy for others, please, with all that you can, with all that you can muster, enter into these narratives with grace. And when we see each other again, may our gather be well.
gambling man on down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk, and the only time he's satisfied is when he's on a drug. Oh, mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one foot on the platform, the other foot on the trail. Going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. Well, there is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know